better not have no plans tonight.
Movie time and it's feeling right.
You're looking for a love that lasts. You'll find it at Romancing the Podcast. Ooh, ooh, baby, you had me at hello. Ooh, I love you.
I know.
Ooh, ooh, baby, you're the wind beneath my wings. Ooh, ah, I'll have what she's having.
I'm recording now, but you can use that if you want.
I wasn't recording.
Damn it.
Yeah, we lost that magic.
I can make magic again if you want. I'm going to make magic for my husband later. It's his birthday.
Gross. Happy birthday, though.
It's not gross. We're married. The law says we have to.
The
We don't even do laugh lines on this show. Why am I doing?
Yeah, we don't need laugh lines.
Thank you for tuning into Romancing the Pod. You had us at hello. I'm Paige.
Wesley, and I'm
Wesley.
Todd Schlosser, and this week, Paige made us watch
Bedazzled.
Bedazzled. So, Paige, when was the first time you saw the 1967 Bedazzled?
Wait, what?
I'm just kidding. That one does exist, but I didn't watch that because Brendan Fraser's in a Bedazzled, so we definitely watched that one. Paige, when was the first time you saw Bedazzled?
Today was my first time,
Nice.
but when I tell you I've been lusting after this cover in Blockbusters for a good portion of my life, that is an honest thing that I just said.
Is it because Elizabeth Hurley looks sexy and Brendan Fraser looks like he's just about to fart?
I mean, I think it was mostly just because Brendan Fraser was on it. Because, like,
Oh, yeah, fair.
I am prime age for Brendan Fraser shaping parts of my sexuality through film.
Yeah, we were teenagers when The Mummy came out. Like,
Yeah.
that movie was such a formative movie sexually for our generation, and I don't think
100%.
anyone's saying it enough. I've seen people say it online, but not enough.
I finished watching this movie today, and my immediately first thought after was like, God damn, I gotta watch The Mummy.
Yeah,
Like,
come on.
Immediately.
Rachel Weisz, come on. I had a huge crush on her when I was like 14.
I was like, is that spooky enough for October?
Yeah, of course. It's the perfect time for it. The Mummy is practically a rom-com, in my opinion. Anyway, but Paige, how did you feel about Bedazzled?
Okay, I'm conflicted about this. There are problems.
Of course.
100%.
It came out in 2000.
It came out in the year 2000.
Yes.
We're going to cover a lot of horrible things in this movie that it's because it came out in the year 2000. If you were making this movie today, it would absolutely be different. However, despite a lot of the like rough stuff that didn't age well early in this movie, it has the best ending to the point where I'm like, this should be required viewing for all incels.
I wrote the same thing. Oh my God. So almost the same thing. When I was like taking notes on the plane while watching this movie back from my vacation, that was wonderful.
I love that you and I went to the same place and you had a good time and I contracted a virus that made me lose almost 20 pounds through the healing power of diarrhea.
First off, congrats on your
My
weight loss
involuntary
journey.
accidental weight loss, yes.
Paige, I'll just go ahead and let you know nothing solid has come out of me in a week.
Yeah,
But
that's what's up. That's what's up.
it was very relaxing and I enjoyed it. And listeners, I'm so sorry I said that into your earballs. But
Unity.
I did write down if this movie was done today, it would be an incel at the beginning.
100%.
Like it would say more or
He
less
kind of
on
is.
screen, maybe show, not tell, but say incel. To me, I don't know, Paige, to me, he kind of is. I can see that. I think he's more socially awkward.
Sure.
And just like, I feel like this is probably because of the way I grew up, so forgive me. He probably grew up in a very religious household. I'll just say it that way.
It does seem that way.
Had a very small group of people he grew up with. And outside of your family, obviously,
Right.
some, speaking for myself, those families can get big. But he's just like awkward.
Sure.
But he seems to have a good heart about it.
He's not weaponized yet. He hasn't been red-pilled.
Right,
He's,
yes.
he's like the person who eventually finds that message board and it goes bad.
Yes.
But instead he found the devil and it turned out good.
Yes.
A different kind of red pill.
Yes, the best thing that could have ever happened for Brendan Fraser's character is he met the devil. Because he was literally 3 unchosen YouTube videos, like following down the rabbit hole.
Yep.
To being like red pilled.
Yes, 100%.
And then leading to domestic terrorism on some
Yes.
level, probably. Like, so yeah, Brendan Fraser, I will say, does some problematic stuff in this movie, but because he found the devil, he's not doing more drastic stuff. Paige, I hear you, and I agree with your opinion that the devil stopped a school shooting here.
I mean, it kind of did. But here's the other thing about it, though.
This is insane.
That's crazy to say, but accurate for this movie. But then there's the Rachel Lee Cook of it all, wall of like, I wish I was more attractive. And I was like, you're 90s Brendan Fraser. There's no such thing as more attractive. You're it, man. Like, you're the top.
I did literally write down, do they expect us to think that Brendan Fraser, just because he's wearing glasses, isn't like a stone cold fox all the time anyway? Like, he could, like, when he's in the bar and his quote friends, his coworkers, like, don't want to be around him or whatever.
Right.
Because they're like, he is 3 YouTube videos away from being an insane person.
Correct.
Like, or whatever. He's just really socially awkward. But when he's just like trying to like flirt, I guess. It just made me laugh. I'm so sorry. He's just so silly. It's so dumb.
It's so silly, but it is still, he spends the last act of this movie in a denim jacket that made me need things in life to like, I was like,
Paige,
what? How? It's just a denim jacket. Why? But like,
Paige, I think you'll find,
boy,
it's not the denim jacket.
it's not the denim jacket.
Who's
It's
wearing
90s
it, right?
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, 100%.
My favorite is there's one vignette that has its own, every vignette's got a little bit of problematic in it, but there's one where he's like, I want to be smart. And he walks into the room and he's basically just Brendan Fraser from The Mummy. And I was like,
Yeah.
you guys nailed it. Like even later, he like takes his jacket off and he's got like the same kind of, almost like a gun holster suspenders and sits on the edge of the bed. And I'm like, this could be a scene from The Mummy. Like, they knew.
They did know.
And yet they try to play him like they're going to, take out his ponytail and take his glasses off. And, oh my God, how did we not see 90s Brendan Fraser standing right there? Hilarious.
Paige, I hear you.
Hilarious.
Yeah, he's hot all day long. And I agree. It's like the Clark Kent Superman thing. Like, unless you're really dumb, you know that's Superman. Like, you're just like playing into the bit of it all, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, in the new one, they address it with like the glasses make him look different or whatever, but they never like show what he actually looks like to them. And I was like, yeah, if Corn Sweat was just like walking through your office, you'd notice. You'd be like,
yeah,
what the fuck? What department is he in? Like immediately.
Yeah, he's in the new Fuck Me department.
He could be in my accounts receivable, if you know what I mean.
It's definitely time for a debriefing. Okay, anyway, we cannot go back and forth until we run out of sexy office puns because we could go deep, Paige, I'm sure of it. But I do love that this movie sets up that the devil is a not-for-profit organization. I like when she said that, I was like, oh, damn, they are like committing to the devil being the opposite of the church. I love it.
Well, and here's the weird thing. And the second I saw Harold Ramis's name come up in the credits, I was like, there's going to be something good in here. And boy, was that true.
There's a lot of heart in it, yeah.
There's a lot of heart in this. The world building of the devil church dichotomy is great.
Yeah.
To the point where like, and we spend a lot of time with the devil. It's pretty fun. And it's all Faustian gambits. Like it's, and it's always the thing of like, you got to be real specific, but the devil's always going to find a loophole, right? You know?
It's the monkey paw wish scenario.
Right. But I actually kind of loved at the end when he goes to the church, he's like, I got to talk to God. And they're like, oh, honestly, we can't help you, man. But then he meets God in a place where most people would assume God is not.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a good movie somehow, despite a lot of bad shit in it.
Yeah.
We'll cover it.
I mean, it came out in 2000, and I'm not excusing it, obviously, but it has the problems that is pretty rampant in that era.
Yes. Well, and I mean, literally from the jump, when we talk about the credits, I will bring some stuff up.
The opening credits have issues?
Oh my God, so much, Todd.
I know, it's terrible. They're like stopping on the street and like holding on people like idiot or whatever. It's terrible. Anyway, we'll get there.
It's terrible. But then you get to like the overall message the movie is trying to convey and the world building of their kind of heaven and hell dichotomy, which ultimately comes down to like you as a person have to choose to be a good person.
Yeah.
It is up to you. And then on top of that, basically being like, hey, some people are just never going to like you in that way romantically. And that's okay. Find somebody that fits your kind of weird. And I fucking love that.
I loved it too.
I love the end of this movie.
I really wish it hadn't been the same actress. That was weird.
Same.
I kind of felt like Brendan Fraser's big lesson was there's literally another woman out there for you that looks exactly like this. like, I know you've got like a type, but since we talked in jail, I thought like,
Right.
you know, now that you're out, I'll go and hook you up with the same model, but a little more quirky.
The same model.
It's a weird take.
That is the one part for me that I was like, maybe a different actress.
Literally, it's just a different act. You just like hire anybody to do that.
That'd be the only thing, right? But what I will say is I feel like this is the ending 500 Days of Summer thinks it did.
Oh, I haven't seen that though.
And it did not.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I feel like 500 Days of Summer really kind of bungles a similar message where it spends a whole lot of time really kind of wallowing in kind of a blamey place. And at the end, it's not so much of like, hey, you just need to kind of lean into whatever you and being you is, and you'll find somebody that fits you for you. And instead, it's just like, yeah, you know, dump the girl that's not paying attention to you. There's another girl just in the elevator. And I'm like, we need more nuance to that. This movie actually has that nuance, wildly enough. A movie about Brendan Fraser getting a makeover from the devil.
The devil, Elizabeth Hurley, guys.
The devil, Elizabeth Hurley.
Yeah.
Played brilliantly by Elizabeth Hurley. I think she's great in this. I think she has the performance of the movie.
Oh, I don't know. Brendan Fraser's so good too. She is amazing. I'd give it to both of them. Like, they're both amazing. Dude, Bill Murray's brother crushes it as the priest for one scene.
For one single scene.
Like, dude was great.
Yeah.
Paige, really quick, I gotta ask though.
Yeah, sure.
Obviously, like, your version of the vignette, is there one you're sticking with?
Wait, my version of the vignette.
Yeah, so like if you had to be a drug lord, if you had to go to be Abraham Lincoln, or for you, Paige, Babraham Lincoln.
A fantastic vignette.
Do you have a favorite, I guess, that you would go back to and stay in?
Oh, no, I don't think I'd stay in any of them. Maybe the first one. I feel like I could run potentially a narcotics empire.
Paige, I hate that, like, at least from a like project management like standpoint, you could run a tight ship on that for sure.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I'm just saying, I think you'd struggle with the violence aspect of it, but
I don't think I would.
I walked you into it and I love it. That's hilarious.
I mean, it depends on who I have to violence against, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, post-apocalypse, I could definitely see some sort of version of that for me.
For me, Paige, Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
I could definitely take John Wilkes Booth. You're kidding me? He was an actor.
He was an actor. Soft hands.
He was actually like an action star for the day. So there's no way I could really take John Wilkes Booth.
No.
I've tried.
Well, and he was like method where he would like go out and like pretend to be the guy. Anyway, we can't get...
People hated him. It's very...
People hate him.
He was basically an incel.
Hands down, love the last podcast episodes on the assassination of Lincoln.
Same.
So good. But the thing that caught me every time, and maybe it's just who I am and my personality, is that every time he made wishes, I was like, oh, he should have... And I like caught the Faustian gambit before he walked into it.
Yeah.
Where he was like, and we're married. And I was like, but you didn't say that she had to love you.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I would stick with any of them. The one where I found him the most attractive.
The sensitive, when he was really sensitive, the sensitive guy.
No, God, no.
That's when his eyes were magically green. Like, it was crazy to me that they thought that just being sensitive would like change your eye color.
It was a wild change. It's rare that a movie has both brown face and white face in it.
Honestly, it felt strangely appropriate of his own race. I don't know.
It was weird.
I don't know what was happening, but he looked very strange.
It's a weird look, not his best. The one where he's smart is the one where I am most attracted to him.
That checks out.
However, even in that one, I was like, stop talking.
Paige.
Stop talking.
Oh my God, they got me with that one. Because when he walks out and they take his overcoat off of him, which his arms were not in when he walked off the elevator. Like, it's that kind of classy.
Yes.
The kind of classy where you're like, what an idiot. But inside you're thinking, fuck, why didn't I think of that? And like, I was like, oh, he's going to be the know-it-all talker who won't shut up and he won't get out of his own way and like talk over people and they just hate him for it. I even wrote in my notes, I was like, oh.
That could have been it.
Right.
And they missed the mark.
Oh, I know.
But yeah.
I literally wrote, oh, I see where they're going with this. It's going to be this thing, or whatever. Like, kind of what I just said. And then when they reveal that he's gay, I was like, oh shit. No, that is not what I thought.
Not what I thought at all.
I thought I had it and I lost it.
But I did love that, like, he's like, I'll prove it to you. And he kisses her and he's like, no, I'm gay. Have a nice night, ma'am.
Oh man, so funny.
I was like, I love that he just kind of accepts it and was like, well,
Yeah.
that's what this is.
Man, for the 2000s, I thought they did a great job of showing it wasn't a choice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which is pretty progressive for the time.
Wild for the day.
Yeah.
This movie has such a weird combination of things that you're like, oh no. Like, no, 2000, no.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of other things that you're like, man, they landed that.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be in the same movie with all the things they didn't nail? Why? But overall, kind of enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Again, I always saw it on the shelf at Blockbuster, but I feel like I don't hear people talking about this movie all that much, and probably because it's stone cold weird.
It is super weird, yeah.
This is also the last time I was home when my sister was having her baby. I guess she and her husband had watched some like part animated, whatever called like, I think it was Monkey Bone that Brendan Fraser was in around the same time.
I literally had a conversation with my friend about that today.
Yeah, okay. They were trying to get us to watch it because I've never seen it.
I haven't either.
And I was like, why don't you concentrate on pushing? Like, we're not.
Isn't the Monkey Bone how we ended up here?
Maybe. All this to say, this movie is also weird. This is a weird movie that I feel like I want to know if more people have seen it. Because, like, I'm trying to do spooky month. I'm trying to find things that have ghosts, ghoulies, skeletons.
This definitely qualifies. It's the devil.
The devil is spooky.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because we did 3 months of Mikey's angel movie summer, we did most of the ghost ones because Mikey couldn't differentiate between angels and ghosts.
Right. We're not sending our best here at Romance of the Five.
We're not sending our best. My favorite was there's a thread in the Facebook group of what are other ones they could do? And half of them we had already done.
Yeah.
But this one, I was like, yeah, we'll pick the one that I fantasized about on Blockbuster shelves and see what's up because I think it's the devil.
And it was, Paige.
Yes. Preventing school shooting.
Yeah. Who thought that could ever happen?
Who'd have thought?
It's pretty much a self-help guide for incels to get out of the thing, to get out of the cult, honestly.
Again, required viewing.
Yeah, should be.
If there's an incel in your life, be like, how do you feel about 90s Brendan Fraser? Bad because it makes you feel inadequate? Understandable. But just watch this and then we can watch The Mummy after.
I did think Brendan Fraser's performance was nuts. Like, he is so comfortable being weird on camera.
100%.
And I love that. I love it so much.
My entire generation of women, our first introduction to Brendan Fraser for the most part was George of the Jungle.
Paige, I was alive at the time.
I know.
Leslie Mann's in that movie. Like,
sure.
come on.
And it's a children's movie. A children's movie, Todd.
I was a children at the time.
In which Brendan Fraser, in the best shape of his entire fucking life, which, by the way, for the record, I'd bang it then, I'd bang it now. It doesn't fucking matter.
You hear that? George of the Jungle?
You hear that? Anyway, him running around mostly naked in a loincloth, or at some points, white, flowy business shirt, but open, chasing horses. Our brains were altered forever. There's nothing we can do about it.
No.
And also, he looks weird through most of that movie. It is all physical comedy, and we're still just like, holy shit. I've never seen a man until now.
Paige, it is like a romance, right?
Oh yeah, we could 100% do George of the Jungle. It's weird on a rewatch. On a rewatch, you're like, this was for kids? There's a whole lot of pretty explicit sex jokes in this.
Yeah, we should revisit that.
Hey, it was the 90s, man.
Yeah, it definitely was. And this was at the end of the 90s,
Yeah.
the 2000s. But Paige, perhaps we should just go through this one, scene by scene.
Let's do it. We open on very few credits, but a little title card that says 6.2 billion souls because this was a long time ago and there were less people on Earth.
We're now at 8.25 billion. I looked it up.
There you go. We have kind of a bird's eye view. It's flying over Earth, a bunch of different places, cities, different cultures, whatever. And it's ascribing to them these little comments of bad credit, show off, honest, couch potato, workaholic, etc. Which I will point out, a lot of these are not moral failings as much as they are just personality traits for stuff. However, the personality traits and things that they are ascribing to people unfortunately seem to very much correspond with, in some cases, racial and cultural stereotypes.
Yeah.
And were this made today, I think they would do this very differently and at minimum randomize who they were putting the labels on. But it's one of those things where the first couple are funny and then you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh.
The kind of where you're like, oh man, I hope this person got paid for this.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's not reflecting them in a great light at all.
No. And to give you an idea, it'd be something like me walking down the street and it would be like midnight snack cravings.
Yes.
Where
Yeah.
where you're like, oh,
Yeah.
like, yikes.
I hope those people knew that that's what was going to happen when they showed up to Shutterstock Labs that morning.
Well, and that's the thing is like, I don't know if it's just stock footage.
It looks just like stock footage, Paige.
A lot of it looks like stock
Yeah.
footage where people were not necessarily agreeing that that's what was going to happen to them.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I hope they got paid for this.
Yeah, I don't think they were shot specifically for the movie. And they reuse some of that stock footage in other places in the movie.
That's
and
fine.
So
They reuse a section of the movie within 30 seconds
Yes.
in the movie. I was like, what are we doing, guys? We just saw this.
just saw it.
So they do that a lot.
We cut to Brendan Fraser, and he gets a bunch of little labels where it just says like desperate, oblivious, eager to please, doormat.
Yeah.
And we see him opening the doors to his office for people to go through, and no one stops to let him go through and take the door over. It essentially implying he lets people walk all over him. I don't think that's his main flaw. I think the movie struggles to really nail down what his flaw is in the beginning. And in some ways, this is what kind of lends itself to the like incel of it all. Of like, if you've ever been on an incel forum online and they're like, these things are the things that are wrong with me, and that's why women will never love me. And it's like, actually, it's making posts like this. That is a huge part of the problem. But I think in many ways, what this probably reflects is what Brendan Fraser thinks his problems are
Yeah, I think that that's fair.
as the character.
Yeah. I also don't think he's displayed like being a doormat. All he's done is like been kind.
That is one thing that I do like, because even though he does not have a great grasp on social skills, he is a little overbearing, he's a little much, he can be unkind unintentionally and kind of teasing his fellow, coworkers. He's just trying to fit in. But I think the movie does a great job of really nailing down that, like, he's not trying to be offensive or annoying or a problem. He just doesn't know how to connect with these people.
Yeah.
And instead of just kind of being himself, he is trying to be what he thinks each person wants.
Which is not great.
No.
Like a lot of times it's very, let's just say, stereotypical of the era.
Yes.
But I actually kind of had that same note that it felt very like he just really wanted to connect with people and be like in a friend group and stuff like that. I don't really
Right.
think he was trying to be mean or anything. He just didn't know how to fit in.
Right.
And so he was trying to figure it out. And because he was like really kind of overdoing it,
Yes.
And because he's socially awkward, and it was that cycle of like, well, I keep fucking it up because I'm socially awkward, and I'm socially
Right,
awkward
right,
because I think
right.
I'm going to fuck it up kind of thing. And he can't get out of his own head about it. I kind of felt bad for him,
Yeah.
Because if he would just like sit down and shut up and just listen.
He'd be part of the group
Exactly.
immediately.
Yeah. You don't have to like provide value immediately. Sometimes like you just got to sit with somebody while they talk and be interested.
Yeah.
And like pay attention and stuff, like be in that conversation and give them your all in that conversation. But like, you don't have to like do much else. It's like a great hack to being like fast friends with somebody you're just meeting.
Sure. And on the other half of it too, of like, if you're in the workplace and there is a person like this, which like, I feel like everywhere you go, every group, every workplace or whatever, there's somebody that's like not quite fitting in. 9 times out of 10, if you're just nice to that person, they become way less of a frustration.
Yeah.
Because they don't feel like they have to overdo it.
Yeah. They just like become themselves, who they really are around you.
Yes.
Because they're not overthinking it, because they think, oh, well, Paige likes me. Paige likes me. So like,
Right,
I can
right.
do myself. They're not like overthinking it because it's work and they don't want to get fired and all that stuff.
100%.
Yeah.
And over time, if as you get comfortable with those people, if somebody is being overwhelming, you could be like, hey, I love you.
Yeah.
We're friends.
Yeah.
I need a minute,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Let me be your friend
Like-
for a second. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let me be your friend for a second and say that I need some quiet to get my work done, and then we can hang out after or whatever.
Yeah.
And that honesty is friendship when delivered in a kind way.
Yes, it is. But I think that Brendan Fraser is kind of like he's got a heart of gold, more or less.
Sure.
24 karat Page.
Yes.
And he just like he can't figure out how to talk to anybody.
No. And gosh, throw a rock, you'll find somebody who feels that way.
Yes.
That's
why I felt so bad. I'm like, I have been this person. I know tons of people who have felt this way at times. Like it's a very common thing, I think.
I had a friend text me literally like 3 days ago because they were at a party and they did not know anybody. And they were like, there's no cat for me to hang out with. Like, what am I going to do?
Oh, that's me though.
And I texted back like my tips because I find myself in that situation all the time. That's like 90% of my life
Man,
is
me too.
I have to be here and I don't know anybody and I'm going to have to survive, right? And so I was like, find the fat girl and compliment something on her outfit, or like find the girl with the best accessories, see if somebody is spooky. And I was like, oh man, I have workflowed this in my brain of like,
Paige, it's because we both have ADHD, because I'm like fucking nodding along like, yep. I could tell you. I mean, kind of like I just did about the listening thing.
Yeah.
I have helped close like multi-million-dollar deals because
100%.
I went up to the person who like was the decision maker or whatever and just listened to what they had to say for like 3 hours. And then we were friends. Like, and I really like these people, truly. Like, they're great. But I only did that because I leaned in and listened.
And here's the other thing too. I feel like there's a lot of people out there who maybe struggle with social interactions who think that everyone else has it so easy. And I'm happy to tell you,
I hate it.
no.
I'm so bad at it.
None of us do.
Yeah.
We're all bad at it. We're all bad at it. And we just have things in our brains that we do to try and make it more bearable. And like, we have just learned techniques.
Literally every time I've had a fan interaction, like I had a great one at I said BNA, which is the Nashville airport. I don't know, maybe a month ago, the lady at Starbucks handed me my drink and she was like, I love your podcast. And I was like, how did you know what I looked like? Because I'm not really on social media. And she was like, I follow your wife. and then she was gone because she had to work. And she was like, she said that walking backwards, by the way. It was awesome. She was the coolest thing ever.
Great.
But I left that experience hoping that I wasn't weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, I deal with that so much. Yeah.
Sure, all the time. I feel like after every interaction, I get a text or like a DM from the person I just met that's like, I'm sorry I was so weird. I was like, you were not.
You were great. Yeah.
This is a difficult interaction for anybody to ever be in. You did great.
Yeah.
Anyway, we meet his coworkers. And they are kind of his background friends for every vignette, which I kind of love.
Paige, I love that too. And it's because I love improv. And it felt like I was watching an improv game in vignette form in a movie.
Yes.
Because it is like, all right, everyone, Brendan Fraser's a drug lord. Who are you? What's your character? What do you want? What do you need?
What do you want? What do you need?
We're going on in 3 minutes. Every vignette felt like that.
I'm going to need a suggestion from the audience. Cries at sunsets. All right, I've got cries at sunsets.
Inexplicably has green eyes.
Can I have a food? Niçoise salad. All right, cries at sunsets, Niçoise salad. Everyone else, choose your place. And it's literally like the vignette is going on and they're having their own improv game in the background of like, we live in this world now. And like, what is my character in this world? Which is really fun.
And everyone's making just crazy choices. And the vignettes are fun, man.
And they're all, I would say, like, aside from Orlando Jones, who stands out because he is way more famous now than he was when this movie came out.
Oh, yeah.
The other three are all that guy from the 90s of like people who in every 90s movie play someone's coworker, but enough that you're like, I've seen them in something else. I'm not going to look it up right now. But like, I definitely have.
They're definitely in some show making a ton of money as a working actor, but I haven't seen them since this movie.
Yeah, they're like walking through the background of 15 news radio episodes and paying for their kids' college or whatever. Like, yeah. Anyway, we meet his coworkers.
Yeah.
Each one of them has like a thing that he knows about them because he's trying to be a good friend. And so he's like remembering facts about them. So he's like, hey, are we going to go play basketball? Because last time you told me it was 6:30, but then everyone was gone. And then Orlando Jones immediately finds a way to walk away from that interaction. And then he catches the other guy. He's like, are we going to the brewery? And he's like, we'll meet chicks. He's like, hey man, I'm married. I'm going to go home and stay home and hang with my wife. And you know, everyone is clearly actually doing something but trying to avoid him, which I know.
We know later they're going out together.
They're going out together.
Yeah.
Hurts so much. So painful.
That does suck. Yeah.
It does suck. I have been guilty of doing that to a person that was driving me insane.
I've been on both sides of it, Paige. I don't know if you'll believe this, Paige, but there are people in this world who do not want to hang out with me. So I've been on both sides of that.
Weird life spoiler. If you're a person, there's someone who doesn't want to hang out with you.
Oh, yeah.
At some point in life.
For sure.
Right?
I just kind of meant I'm a loud guy. Some people don't like that, and I understand.
The person I have most recently avoided, and I'm not worried that they're going to hear this, and they probably won't even know it's them, Part of the reason I tried to avoid them in very specific scenarios is that they make terrible food recommendations. And I know that's such a specific thing, but it's this thing of like, no, I don't want to go out to dinner with that person because I know the food will be bad and they won't let us choose. Not only do they make the worst recommendations, they're like, we gotta go to this place. And everyone knows we shouldn't go because they know about the bad food recommendations. But if that person's there, we're all gonna end up sitting there being like, fucking fuck, we could have just gone to a burger place.
You guys got to get yourself a Jeff. Jeff is one of my friends that I work with. He's been on the road for like 7 years with this company, like literally living on the street, like living on the streets, not streets, but like in hotels.
Yeah, living out of a suitcase.
Yeah, any city. He knows the best restaurants to. I'm always like,
That's
hey, I'm going to
me.
be in Minnesota next week. Where do I eat? And he can hit me with like 15 options that are amazing.
100%.
Anyway, we got to get, what are we talking? We got to get back.
We gotta
into the
get back.
movie. Yeah.
But yeah.
I missed you too, Paige. We took a little break. It's great to see you.
I missed you too. Anyway, his friends are avoiding him and he shows up at the brewery anyway and catches them and does sit down with them and just kind of sit quietly because I think he's realizing like, oh, fuck, man. Like,
Yeah.
now it's weird or whatever. And as he does it, he sees Allison Gardner walk through, who works at their company, but not in their department.
Yes. I was like, oh, he's going to hit on the new girl at the office. And then he says, I know she's been here 4 years, but I've never really talked to her. I was like, good God,
Right.
4 years?
4
And you haven't said
years.
anything to someone you work with? That seems, I mean, maybe it's a huge company, but that seems strange.
Not only does it seem strange, how often do you know people who stay for 4 years at the same company?
That's such a sad truth though, right?
Right?
I mean, yeah.
Most people move companies every 2 years.
Yeah.
There's like statistic studies about how often people change jobs. And on average, it's like every 2 years. So the idea that you would both be there for 4 years and still have not talked to each other, crazy.
Right?
Crazy.
Yeah.
How do you not at a certain point during one of the probably multiple company buyouts that happens in that 4 years turn to somebody and be like, weird to be here, right? Like at minimum, you talk to them people for that.
Honestly, if I've been somewhere 4 years, you just look to the person who's also been there 4 years and it'd be like, man,
Yeah.
looks like we made it. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know. We made it through this.
That's me looking at people being like, they're going to have to carry my dead body out of this place. It's like, anyway, he hasn't talked to her, but he knows everything about her because he's just observing her from afar. He has a parasocial relationship
Yeah.
with this woman.
He knows way too much about her for someone who's never spoken to her, really.
And she knows nothing about him. He has put her on a pedestal. She is a fantasy, and he is not treating her as a person.
Right.
Anyway, they're like, well, if you know so much about her, just go talk to her. And he's like, you know what, I will, which I do like that he's like,
Yes.
all right, yeah, I'll go talk to her.
He does put himself out there. Like, I think that that's great.
He does.
And he's not creepy about it. Like,
No, I feel like if nothing else, this movie should teach men who are anxious about talking to women in social situations that A, it's okay to do so in a polite way.
yeah.
And B, just accept the no. And the interaction is fine, right?
Yeah, because they've done you a favor.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they're not interested, so I don't need to waste my time. Thank you. Have a good night.
Granted, pick your spots, not the gym.
Or like where they work. Yeah, there's like,
Yeah.
there are some sort of general ground rules. She has to be able to have an out.
Right.
Really is like the rule I follow.
100%.
Or did before I found Natalie.
Right. But like at a bar where that's kind of an expectation of the types of interactions that would happen, sure. Like there's a polite way to do that and a polite way to take the rejection on the chin and walk away.
Yeah.
But he tries to talk to her. He's like, yeah, we've worked together for a few years. And he's like, I said hi to you on this one day and like it was raining or whatever. And he's kind of rambling on because she has no idea who he is. And he's like,
Yeah.
please remember so this isn't awkward.
It's clear by what he's saying, he's super into her. And which would
Right.
be very socially strange, I think.
And ultimately, she kind of waits for a break in the conversation and kind of just walks away.
Yeah.
And he watches her walk away and just says, I would give anything to have that woman in my life. We cut to a supercut of, what do you call it? The cue ball?
Yeah, it's the white ball in pool. Yeah.
Yes. Somebody breaks crack the God damn, I'm terrible.
Paige,
I'm
Paige,
terrible
keep
at
going.
pool. I
Keep
enjoy it so much, and I'm
going.
bad at it.
It's called breaking. So you rack it.
Yeah, breaking.
To like put the balls where
rack.
they should be. Yeah.
Yes.
And then you break it.
Somebody's racked the balls.
Yes.
They break the balls.
Yes.
But the cue ball goes off the table and rolls through this entire bar.
Everyone just barely missing it with their
Barely
foot.
missing
This
it.
is at a time where After Effects had just come out, guys, and these dudes were loving it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it lands at Brendan Fraser's feet.
Thank God he was in second position because it just like
Yeah.
slid right in there. It was great.
And he walks, and it's while it's like snaking its way to him, it's playing Wild Thing, which I was like, the soundtrack has got to be great. He picks up the ball. He walks it over to the pool table where he finds Elizabeth Hurley, who is, I think I really understood you and Mikey being like, if someone this hot hit on me, I'd be worried they would kill me. Because that's exactly what happens in this movie.
She starts like making out with them, not making out with them yet, sorry, but still like coming on really strong.
Right.
To the point where it's like uncomfortable. And then like, I really wanted to point this out. When she shoots pool, this is when I realized that After Effects had just come out because she hits the cue ball once, it knocks down every ball but the 8 ball.
Right.
And then she knocks in the 8 ball because, of course, that's the way you win or whatever.
And right in front of his dick, basically,
Yes.
too. Like, crotch level.
And then they go make out.
Right.
And she's like, she like makes out with him in front of these 2 ladies and she's like, do you mind or whatever? And they get up and leave.
Hilarious.
I thought it was great.
I was sitting there and I was like, they've kind of walked out of like the bar part into some sort of food area.
Yeah.
And I was like, Todd, what if you and I were sitting at fucking Waffle House and somebody just came up and made out against our table while we're just like eating our peanut butter waffles? And they're just like, do you mind? It's like, do you? Like,
Yeah, like you just got here.
I do mind.
That's a very good point. I didn't think of it that way because those ladies were there first.
Yeah, 100%. It's their table. And eventually, like, they don't move, by the way.
No, I think they get up and walk out. I can't remember. I thought they got up and got out.
The
but
camera cuts away from them, so we
Fair
never
enough.
really see,
Yeah.
But she's like, let's find somewhere private where we can talk. And he's like, what?
At this moment, Paige, it seems like the movie's like, oh, look at this idiot.
Yeah.
Can't even like lock down a sure thing or whatever.
Right,
and I was like,
right.
no, this lady is only this forward with him because his organs are on the menu and there's like an ice bath waiting already. Like it's
Right.
that kind of scary. So get out of there, guy. When he started to get up and be like, I got to get back to my friends.
Yeah.
I was like, damn right you do. Stay safe, Brendan.
And she's like, I know you're attracted to me. He's like, sure, you're hot, but like,
Right.
what is this? What is happening?
What is your name? Like they don't know
Yes.
anything about each other.
Right. And she's like, we got to talk business. He's like, oh no. You do you, but I'm not into that. I online once, but like not like a thing.
Online once.
I think he paid for a cam girl, which would have been very
Oh,
new at the time.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I think that's what they're saying, but anyway. And then she's like, no. It's a decision. It can help your entire life. He's like, well, I'm glad Scientology works for you.
I love that. I laugh so hard on a plane.
And she's like, you don't even know. Like, I'll give you anything you want. And he's like, sure. And she's like, don't tell anybody. I'm the devil. And he's like, okay, drunk. Like, he
Right?
just doesn't believe her.
When she said that, I was like, ma'am, you are not the devil, but you may be the devil's daughter.
Right.
But she actually is the devil. I didn't realize that she was supernatural at this point.
Yeah.
I should have, though.
You should have.
Because she sunk all those balls.
Well, and because of the blockbuster cover of the movie with her, like, where they basically bring her up about 3 cup sizes. I don't know if you've seen the cover.
Paige, I saw this movie in theaters and I forgot literally everything about it.
No way.
I was really young at the time, like probably.
Sure.
I was probably old enough to see it, but just barely, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, because I think it's PG-13.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And I forgot everything about this movie. I was like, I think it sucks, but I can't remember. And I was talking to my friend this morning about Monkey Bone, and he was like, no, you'll love
Yeah.
it. Brendan Fraser's great in everything. I loved him in Monkey Bone. Let's talk about Chris Kattan for 50 minutes, and we did.
Oh, as Mr. Peepers?
Yes, we talked about Chris Kattan way too much, and that's how we got there. Starting at, hey, I think I got to watch Bedazzled. That's how that started.
I mean, somebody described something the other day and they couldn't think of Mr. Peepers' name and they were like, you know when Chris Kattan does the apple?
Yes.
And I was like, Mr. Peepers!
Yes.
Like, yes! And they were like, they did that with an apple and then broke a tooth. I was like, what?
Yeah, you can mess up your face with that.
100%. The fact that he didn't and he did it so many times.
So many times.
Crazy.
Yeah.
The passion, the tension, the action. Danielle L. Jensen's Saga of the Unfated duology is complete. I know you were waiting for it. And it's ready to be your next great fantasy romance binge. You know I would not steer you wrong when it comes to romantasy books, so you should read Saga of the Unfated. It's a Norse-inspired fantasy romance duology from the best-selling author of the Bridge Kingdom series. Book 1 is A Fate Inked in Blood, perfect for spooky season. You'll fall in love with Freya, who is a shield maiden with a secret gift and a forbidden love for Bjorn. So, a shield maiden blessed by the gods battles to unite a nation under a power-hungry king, all while fighting her growing desire for his fiery son. Pretty sure that's Bjorn. Then, you should experience the epic conclusion to their high-stakes saga in Book 2, A Curse Carved in Bone. I honestly can't think of anything better for spooky season than carving curses in bones. It's like the whole vibe right now. This is also about Freya, who fights to break the shackles of prophecy in this searing conclusion to the Saga of the Unfated romance fantasy duology. That's 2 books. 2 books. You don't even have to wait for a third. 2. 1, 2, done. USA Today calls it captivating and sexy, with a fierce heroine and a smoldering hero. A Fate Inked in Blood is everything you want in a fantasy romance. You know who gave them that quote? Elise Kova, the best-selling author of A Deal with the Elf King. An Elf King. That's the only thing better than an Elf Prince. A Fate Inked in Blood and A Curse Carved in Bone are available now, everywhere books are sold.
Mr. Monopoly here. Monopoly is back at McDonald's. Register in the McDonald's app so you're ready to get your bag. 2 ways to peel for a chance to get your bag. Physical peels with select items and digital peels with others to get your bag. Play Monopoly at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
No purchase necessary. See rules at playatmcd.com for full details and amoe.playatmcd.com to play without purchase. Ends November 23rd, but bonus play ends November 2nd. Monopoly is a registered trademark of Hasbro. Copyright McDonald's.
Anyway, so she's like, just make a wish, any wish, and I can grant it for you. He's like, all right, I wish I had a Big Mac and a Coke. And I love that she just puts him on the bus and takes him to McDonald's and makes him pay for it, which also a Big Mac and a Coke only cost $3.47. We used to be a proper country.
Paige, I did the math. That's $6.53 today.
There's no way.
I know, but that's what the inflation would be. It's way more than that now.
It's way worse than that, yeah.
Because food costs are way higher. Yeah, that was my point. Like, it's definitely not how much it is now.
Let me see how much it is now, actually.
Look it up while I say this. I love the metaphor here because she makes him use a wish, then they get on a bus, and maybe at most she paid for the bus, but doubt it. And he had to buy his own food.
Right.
It's like the perfect deal with the devil scenario, right? Because like you may get something, it won't be what you expected it would be, but you'll definitely pay for it.
100%.
I loved it.
And now, granted, I am looking this up in Los Angeles Metro, which means it is definitely going to be more expensive than 90% of the rest of the country, if not 100.
Where do you think this movie takes place, if not a major metropolitan city?
San Francisco.
Yeah.
This movie takes place in San Francisco.
Oh, it does. You're right. They say it.
And was definitely filmed there, too. There was like a handful of places I was like, I know exactly where that intersection is. So I would guess that this is probably accurate to San Francisco as well, if not a little bit less expensive than San Francisco.
Fair.
But right now, in Los Angeles Metro, a Big Mac is $9.49.
He didn't get fries, Paige.
He didn't get fries.
Right. So you got to do Big Mac and soda. Yeah.
Yeah. So the soda, let's say he got a medium.
Fair.
Right?
We're being so scientific with this.
$3.19.
All right, let's call it an even $14 when it should have been, just by inflation, $6.53.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he had to pay for it.
I love that he had to pay for it.
Anyway, I do love that he's like, this doesn't prove anything. And she's like, all right, fine. Well, I'll give you a ride back to your car. And instead, she drives him to an after-hours club in Oakland, which definitely was filmed on location because you can see just across the marina there's like an industrial part of Oakland that has a bunch of like, they look like at walkers and they're in the background of this shot.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Anyway, she takes him to an after-hours club. I feel like this is the way that it's this representation of hedonism, but this idea of like everyone's having a good time, but nobody's thinking about what happens when the party is over.
Or what happens if the party never stops. Like,
Right.
It felt very Dante to me, honestly.
Yes. And everyone there is like, oh my God, Elliot,
Yeah.
you're here.
It was like going to a bar where everybody knows your name, but instead of it being Cheers, it's the devil.
Where everybody knows it's hell. Yes.
We're dancing until we're dead.
Anyway, she brings him into her office and he's like, you don't look anything like the devil. And she's like, I mean, I could look however I want, and presents as like a very, I'll call it classic illustration devil of like early 1900s spiritualism wood cutting devil is essentially what it looks like, where he doesn't have cloven hooves, but he does have the horns.
Right.
But she then poofs back. She's like, this is more fun. And he's like, oh my God, you are the devil because
Right.
I just watched you shapeshift. And he's like, I've got questions. And she's like, oh, yes, there's a God. Everybody, you're meeting the devil, but everybody always wants to ask about God, which I think is hilarious.
I honestly would not need to ask that question. I thought it was insane that
clearly-
anybody asked. Yeah, of course there's a God. You're the devil, ma'am.
Because you're the devil.
Yeah.
It's a binary and you're here. So
I know how this works.
Yeah.
I was wrong. You are here. God exists.
right.
Yeah.
And so at this point, she's like, here's the thing. I'll give you 7 wishes. Here's the contract. Read the fine print. And it's basically in exchange for your soul. But who needs a soul anyway? Like, were you even using it? Like, who gives a shit?
Are you even like using your soul, guys?
You gonna eat that soul? Like, come on.
Hey, are you going to finish that soul? I'm really hungry.
Yeah. If you're not, I will.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, no, I don't think so. And not really. And then she shows a video of him and Allison on the beach. And he is fully George of the Jungled out.
Yeah, like long hair.
Yes.
Yeah. It honestly looked like the beginning of like the Lonely Island sketch. Like if Brendan Fraser did one on a beach, like that's what it looked like.
Yes.
Or it's probably more like romantic grocery store, bookstore cover, like that kind of thing.
Oh, very Fabio coded.
Yeah, that's the name. I was gonna call him the guy who took a dove to the face on the roller coaster because I forgot his name.
It was a goose.
It was a goose.
It was a goose.
I love first off that it was a goose. Secondly, and even more funny, was that you knew that.
I knew that because I was at that amusement park a week after it happened. Oh my God. I feel like I talked about this on the podcast before.
They were still scrubbing Fabio blood off the coaster, guys.
The coaster was still closed because they built the coaster in the flight paths of the geese, and it's a super tall coaster. That's why it happened. It's that like it was in the flight path, and I think it's called like Apollo's carriage or something like that, or chariot or whatever. And so they invited Fabio as like a promotional stunt because he was like a modern Adonis or whatever, and put him on the roller coaster, and a geese flew into the car. The goose died on impact. Fabio was super injured. The park was not happy with the publicity.
I mean, it got you to go. No such thing as bad PR, baby.
We were already planning to go, and we did as we were hearing about what happened, because like park employees were like, don't tell them I told you, but like it's this, and this. As they were face painting like a magical goose onto my face, like wings.
They had to paint on you the spirit of the attacker so as to not be attacked by a goose.
Now you'll have goose strength.
Go forth, goose sister. We've got to move on. Paige, we're like an hour into this and we have not yet gotten to the first vignette.
Not yet.
Although we are one wish down.
We are one wish down. 1 midnight gone. So he signs it because she basically implies like, I can get you Allison. If this is what you want, I can get it for you.
Dude, even him on the Target display of TVs that she has in her office.
Right.
Like, he even says, sign it. He like turns to the camera
Yeah.
and is like, yo, sign it, bro. And like making the signing signature.
Sign it, bro.
It's so funny.
Yeah. But she turns around and files it. And I just have to mention this because it's such cool set deck. She has a wall that looks like the body drawers in a morgue.
Yes, it does. But it's a filing cabinet.
And it's her file cabinet.
Yeah.
And I fucking loved it.
It was
I was
so
like,
good.
oh my
Yeah.
God.
I saw that too.
So good.
And it's got like A to F and then G or whatever,
Yeah.
you know, like it's like the ranges.
So good. But he makes his first wish. He's like, I want to be rich and powerful, and I want to be married to Allison. That's what I want. And she's like, great, your wish is my demand. Now,
Isn't it command? Your wish is my command? Or is it demand?
command, your wish is my command.
Okay.
Did I say demand?
I think so.
I might have.
I might have heard it. I don't know.
Look, I don't know how many brain cells I diarrheaed out when I was sick, but definitely some.
Paige,
So like,
I stand by what I said earlier, so same.
anyway, so he wakes up in the first vignette. And the first vignette is where we start to have problems because he definitely has on a prosthetic nose.
Yes.
And a lot of self-tanner.
Yes. And he looks like he stole Zorro's mustache.
Correct. Although he will accidentally rip off part of his own mustache in just a minute, which is one of the funnier physical gags in the movie.
Yeah.
He wakes up, and she is also styled differently too, but he wakes up in like a tropical mansion, and I immediately was like, drug kingpin.
Yeah.
Like, that's he has to be rich and powerful, and she's married. Now, what I do kind of love is that this entire vignette, start to fucking finish, takes place entirely in Spanish.
I loved it. And I love that Brendan Fraser didn't know he could speak Spanish, and he's just like, it's so funny.
Extemporaneously speaking about what it's like to find out you can speak Spanish in the moment.
Yeah.
Very funny.
He literally says, like, I don't speak Spanish, but like in Spanish to the guy. And that guy's just like, what? It's very funny.
Well, and he's like, great, take your breakfast and then go out and, your employees say that they need help in the stables. They go to the stables. He's like, oh my God, I've got horses. I've got this whole mansion. And they're like, yeah, but he's like, where's my wife? Why isn't she? And she's like wandering off with her English teacher. One of my favorite parts is because she's not learning English. She is having an affair with the English teacher. It's very clear. Raul. And when he's like, how's your English lessons going, wife? And she just goes, I am going to be the visiting of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, no, it's an affair.
I love it. He says, that's great, babe. And only after 6 months of practice.
6 months?
Yeah.
But she's clearly having an affair. And he, upon realizing it, gets very upset. So upset that he accidentally rips off half of his own mustache and has to put a Band-Aid over it.
It's bonkers that it happens.
It's real Tom and Jerry energy.
Yes.
Bonkers. And he confronts her and she's like, you're fucking disgusting and I don't love you.
Paige, what she says is, if you ever touch me again, I'll vomit until I die. I was like, good God, I can't think of a worse way to break up with somebody. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's a great line. I love that.
Yeah.
I also love that when he went back to his friends who were like, I think she might be cheating on you, after like talking to the English tutor and her, he comes back and they show photos of them like cheating, but like put him in like a photo album like it's a wedding photo. Like, it was so funny to me.
It's so wild. And they're like, hey, there's a problem at the factory. They get to the factory and they're like, hey, he was caught stealing. He's like, stealing what? And they're like, a kilo. He's like, a kilo of what? And he's like, oh my God, it's cocaine.
Yeah.
Oh no, I am a Colombian drug lord. Oh my God, it's cocaine. And then they're like, the Russians are here about the shipment. And he's like, oh, I guess I speak Russian too.
Yeah, in Russian. It's so funny.
In Russian.
I honestly, having the power to speak fluently someone's language and understand it whenever you're having a conversation, that's amazing. I would love that special power.
I would love that.
Call me interpreter, man.
It is I, Duolingo. Just a giant owl costume. Anyway, Raul shows up and he's like, I've taken your wife. Now I'm going to take your business. A shootout ensues. Brendan Fraser does manage to escape.
Yes.
Clutching onto the like bottom part of a helicopter. That part, the part that hangs down. I want to hold on to that part.
Yeah.
And he goes to activate because the devil did give him a pager of like, hey, if you ever need to get out of your wish, just dial 666 on this pager.
666. Yeah, that.
Thank you, Dio.
Yeah.
But he drops it. Oh no. He then lets go of the helicopter. And as he's falling, catches it midair, dials it, and ends up falling onto a car because the devil is a meter maid.
I love this so much.
Or a parking enforcement worker.
Right. And she's literally walking from meter to meter, like snapping or something, and then it like auto expires.
Yes.
The meter she's at, so she can write them a ticket. Like, it's just the worst. And then she walks up and like cuts the light and causes a 15-car pileup. Anyway,
yes.
But that's just like throughout this scene that we're about to go through. She's doing these things.
I do love two things. One, that every time he meets her, she's basically a profession or a type of person that a lot of people don't like.
Yeah.
Or a person whose profession is morally gray. And because like at one point she's a lawyer.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty funny like through line for her. Secondly, the intersection she causes a 15-car pileup in is in North Beach in San Francisco. It's like a block away from Cobb's Comedy Club. I was like, I've been there. But so this next one, she's like, well, you didn't say that she had to love you. You just said that you had to be married.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, well, I kind of assumed since you're married, you're in love. And she's like, no, that's mistake. But let's go find out what she does want. So they like break and enter into her house, but almost kind of like a ghost thing where she can't see the two of them there.
It's literally like Ghost. Brendan Fraser even says it's like Ghost.
Right. Well, and compares it to like when, she can walk through him and whatever.
Yeah, she does walk through him at one point.
She does walk through him at one point. This movie almost isn't creepy in this moment. I mean, it's creepy that they're there, right?
If he had just not looked, Paige, I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes. Because it's like, hey, she's in the shower if you want to take a peek. And he's like, no, I shouldn't. That's an invasion of privacy or whatever. It's like, she can't tell that we're here. And he's like, okay, maybe just one peek. And you're like, no.
Yeah.
No, because there is a point, because he sits down to kind of like get out of her way when she gets out of the shower, and she adjusts the towel and he definitely gets a full view. But like, he wasn't trying. It happened on accident. The peeking is the one that like he actually goes over there and looks.
Yeah.
And that's a little rough.
Yeah, I agree. I felt weird about that too.
Yeah.
But does it make you feel any better to know that the woman he ends up marrying has the exact same body as this person? Because it shouldn't.
It doesn't. It doesn't at all.
It should not.
I do really wish it was a different actress at the end.
Me too.
Yeah. Anyway, they read her journal, and something in her journal is basically like, I really wish that I had like a really sensitive guy, and sometime in the future I will find him.
Right.
And he's like, okay, perfect. Then I want to be the most sensitive man. He's like, oh, wait, the most emotionally sensitive man. And she's like, oh, too bad. I could have had fun with that one.
Yeah.
But even with this, I'm like, this is going to be a problem, because we cut to the beach and he, first of all, for some reason now is a ginger. I do love that. At least after, I think it's the third vignette, they abandon a lot of the physical changes, except for the Abraham Lincoln one.
The Abraham Lincoln one is really quick too, so it doesn't matter. Yeah.
But he's like crying at the sunset, and he's like, I wrote you a poem, and I drew this sketch of you.
He sings a song about a dolphin, and he looks like he's Brendan Fraser in Twilight, like a background character in Twilight.
Ooh, yes. Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
And I mean that negatively.
Yes. It is not the right hair color for his skin tone.
Oh, I thought they did something to alter his skin tone. And I don't know if it was on him, but I think it might have been color corrected. Just because everything's a little bit more orange because it's the sunset. And I think they just like messed up the color correction for this.
I don't know.
Because everything is orange.
Maybe because he is naturally paler than people think, because he's always tan in George of the Jungle and The Mummy and whatever. But like naturally he's a white guy, so he's pale, right?
Yeah.
But it's his undertone, I think, is a little bit more yellow than pink. And so when he's got the gingery hair, it just doesn't quite look right.
Yeah.
It's really not great.
But he does end up eating a ton of sand, like beach
So much
sand
sand.
in this scene.
Yeah.
And it's honestly pretty amazing. I mean, the first time it happens, it's Elizabeth Hurley who runs over and stops them from kissing.
Right.
With two like Dobermans or whatever.
Right.
And like their names are Peter and Dudley, which are the names of the people who were starring in the original one and wrote the original one.
Oh, interesting.
It's a Dudley Moore movie. Yeah. Peter Cook, Dudley Moore. Yeah.
That makes sense. I could see Dudley Moore doing this.
When she said that, I was like, oh shit, I bet this is a, Dudley movie. And it was.
Now, I feel like each vignette serves to like highlight a misconception that Brendan Fraser has of like, the first one is like, if you're married, they love you. So if I can just convince her to marry me, it's fine. And it's like, no, you didn't consider her feelings at all in this.
I'm so glad you're saying this.
And then this one, it's like, well, I'm considering only her feelings. And it's like, yes, but it's a relationship has to be a partnership.
It's a balance.
Not just one person worshiping the other person, which is basically what's going on, and why the second his coworkers come over to interrupt them, she picks one of them to go off with.
In a way that puts her in literal danger. She's like,
yes.
The guy asks, hey, do you want to grab a beer? And she's like, yes, I do. And she's like, I'm going to go with him in his car. And he goes, it's a van. And like, he just says it like that.
It's like a 45-minute drive.
Yeah, it's like a 45-minute drive. I was like, man, she must really hate Brendan Fraser because she might die and she has to know that.
Yes. Well, and I mean, it's to the point where it's like so adoring that he has no personality, basically, where it's like, it would bother me as well.
Yeah.
But so he shows back up because he does the pager, and he says to Elizabeth Hurley, women don't know what they want. And she's like, maybe Now that's, I would say, an incel complaint that I think he is going to revise as he goes, because like,
Yeah.
I feel like this is a thing I see on social media all the time where it's like, women say they want this, but they actually want this. And it's like, women want a multitude of things, and it's really just about inherent compatibility with a person. And if somebody ain't into it, you can't force them to be into it. Find a person that's into it.
Nobody just wants one thing.
Thank you. Yes. Nobody just wants one thing.
Yeah.
People want multitudes.
Yeah, grow up. That's insane.
Anyway, but he's like, I just want to be like, you know, big and strong and athletic and like rich with people who like me. And she's like, got it. And he's like, I want to play professional basketball. She's like, got it. Say Dennis Rodman. He's like, no. And then she's like, okay, Michael Jordan. But then what we end up with, I would argue, is a lot more Dennis Rodman.
It's a very tall Dennis Rodman. I mean, at least from, I don't know anything about Dennis Rodman under the towel, I'll just say.
No idea, yeah.
But I think he's coded very much like a white Dennis Rodman in like aesthetic.
Yeah, it's because he's got the tattoos. Although, funny thing about the tattoos, if you look closely, they're almost all snakes and lizards. I don't know why, but they are. But then it's the like platinum blonde hair. It's kind of like a mix of a bunch of different things. And all they've done is just make Brendan Fraser bigger.
Yeah, it's definitely everything on a green screen. It's very fun. It's all funny.
It's funny. And then my favorite is he like finishes the game and then he does the after game interview, and he's got like the Key and Peele sweat cannon of just like drenched in sweat.
By the end of this scene, it is like a hose hitting his face. It's that much sweat. It's so dumb. I loved it.
But he's doing the like, we played a good game. I feel like we played as good as we could, and you just gotta play the best game that you can. And I think that we played a pretty good game. And this is universal. Every athlete at people interview ever sounds like this.
Because they're interviewing them at the worst time. Like
Yes.
they're like just won a game or whatever. They're out of breath. They're tired as shit.
Right.
Give them a beat, guys.
Give him a beat. But also, most professional athletes go through PR coaching for those interviews, and they have like canned phrases they're supposed to say.
Yeah, of course. It's like drilled into you literally.
Yeah. So it's always funny to me when we kind of make fun of it in media, because I'm like, media did this. Like, it's a problem we've created. But I do love then he goes to the locker room, and she's in the locker room as a reporter trying to ask him questions, and he gives her the same answer, which I found hysterical.
I thought it was funny too.
And she's definitely trying to smash.
Yes, Paige, she didn't really want to see his bottle cap collection. Nobody thought
No,
that's
of
what
course
she
not.
wanted to see.
No.
At his place.
No. But he's like, I got to get dressed. And she doesn't leave. And he's like, oh, all right. And goes to take off the towel.
Didn't even turn around though. Like I definitely would have
Yeah.
turned around. I'm just like, listen.
Yeah. Well, and she doesn't know. It could be a grower, not a shower, girl. Like, you know, have some faith, I
Man.
guess. But like,
Honestly, his reaction to it is what broke my heart. I felt so bad for him.
there's not an answer to this. My theory was it stayed proportional to his size and just didn't grow with the rest of him.
Love that. That's hilarious.
Right?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
It's just the one part that didn't grow.
I thought it was he grew and it shrunk.
Oh, that could be where it's like, that's where we took the growth, and we got to get the blood pumping from somewhere. Just like, perhaps.
Who knows?
But he immediately goes to dial and is like 555-777.
I love that he couldn't remember it, and it's written all over his locker, and he picks up a Post-it note upside down, so he dials 999 first, and then he's like, oh, 666. It's so funny. He literally dials 15 different combinations. It's so dumb.
It reminds me of one of my favorite merch launches ever. Our friends over at Good Morning from Hell have shirts that say 999 on them, and the like lore within the podcast is that they were accidentally printed upside down.
Yeah.
Super fun.
That's very funny.
Go listen to us as Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah, we've done it a few times, actually. Yeah.
Some of the most fun I've had podcasting.
It is very fun. Yeah.
But he comes back and is like, what the hell? Like, come on. Like, what the fuck? Like, and she's like, oh, well, you didn't specify. And as he's talking to Elizabeth Hurley, she's switching out people's pills in the hospital for candy.
And she literally says, it's the placebo effect. It does the exact same thing. They'll be fine or whatever. It's scientific.
They'll be fine.
I was like, oh man, like this movie called it.
Called it. But now he's like, okay, I want to be smart. I want to be articulate. I want to be witty and sophisticated and charming and popular and great looking. And I want Allison to fall in love with me. And I want a bigger dick, but like reasonable, not like a medical anomaly.
Not like clown show.
Not like something mass, just like reasonable for my size. She's like, all right. And he is immediately just Brendan Fraser in The Mummy.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I kind of wish he had been just like, and I want my dick back. Like, I
want my dick back.
Very happy with what it was before. Want my dick back. But no, he wasn't.
I know how it works. I don't need a new manual or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just made me feel bad for Brendan Fraser. I was like, they're really setting him up as a guy who wishes his dick was bigger, and I felt bad for him.
I mean, this is the year 2000, I think, before people had popularized the phrase boyfriend dick.
Sure, but like,
Yeah.
I just felt bad because like, I don't even mean it like that. I mean like to feel inadequate in that way, it's like, yeah, that sucks, man.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I would say, mouths and fingers can do a lot. I'm just,
Yes, you can mess a lady up with some mouths and fingers, baby.
Yeah, you can. Anyway, he basically is pedantic and talks too much and is kind of annoying.
That's what I thought they were going for. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Right.
As a podcaster, I feel like I could be the guy who's doing this at a party talking about the new Dahmer series and why I hate Ryan Murphy.
Oh my God, I ruined a dinner with that exact topic only a week ago.
Paige, I think we're these kinds of people. I don't think either of us are as smart as they're pretending Brendan Fraser is in this scene. But I mean, like we could talk your ear off about nothing you're interested in for 45 minutes until you tell me to stop.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I'm sorry about it.
No kidding. That exact topic ruined a dinner.
Yeah.
100%.
No, I don't want to make serial killers more fuckable to re-victimize the victims. No.
Yeah.
And their families. No, I don't think it's fun.
My argument is if you want to make it a fake serial killer, I'm with you all day.
Oh, no, they want to use real people and real names so they can say it's a real story and re-victimize actual people, but make up shit.
And then not be accurate.
Yeah, just like make up stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm like, if you were like, it's a made up serial killer and it's Charlie Hunnam.
Paige, we're doing it. We gotta stop. We gotta stop. We're doing it now. We are these people 100%.
So sorry.
We gotta stop. I'm just saying Brendan Fraser would have had a bomb ass podcast.
Oh my God. But his books sound awful. But she goes to talk to him. They hit it off. They're having a conversation on like the balcony. And he's like, do you want to go back to my place? And she was like, yes. Although I do love that he's like, nobody knows like what the biggest organ is. And you think it's going to be penis, but he's like integumentary system.
Well, she is like really trying to go home with him. Yeah. And it's like trying to lay signals down. Like she is to a point where like when he starts talking about your skin or whatever,
right?
She's like, can we go to your place? Like,
yes.
Stop talking. But I noticed it here, and I was like, that's a weird thing to say, but I didn't think about anything until they reveal it's actually not that he's an overtalker or whatever.
Right.
It's that he's gay.
Right.
And I backed it up because he's building up to this like sexy like talk kind of, and he mentions like a penis.
Right.
He doesn't say mine. He says
Yes.
And I was like, oh shit, that's some like pretty brilliant like foreshadowing that I just did not catch.
Yeah, same. If I watched it again, I would catch it. But yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's really well done. It got me.
Right. But he does take her back to his place, and he's like, most of the action happens in the bedroom. And then they walk into the bedroom, and who is there but his partner?
Which is just one of the coworkers who's like been in every vignette.
It's just one of the coworkers.
It's so funny. Yeah.
I do love that the coworker in this moment, he's like, I'm not gay. And he's like, yeah, you are. Like,
Yeah.
we've been in a relationship. I'm not even mad that she's here. I know that you're not into it. Like, whatever. And he's like, I'll show you. And then he's like, here, kiss me. And they kiss. And he's like, I'm gay. Why don't you go home? Like, here's cab money.
Yeah, he like shakes her hand.
Yeah, like shakes her hand.
It's so funny. I love that he shook her hand at the end. It was so dumb. I loved it.
Well, and I love that the Faustian gambit of this one was like, she fell in love with you. You're not in love with her.
Right.
Like, you didn't specify that you also had to be in love.
Yeah.
But he, of course, uses the pager to get out of it.
Of course.
And then he's like, I should be doing something to help others. No more selfishness. I want to be the president of the United States. But of course, he doesn't identify when or which president or current president or anything, because he shows up and he's Abraham Lincoln at Ford's Theater walking into the play.
Yeah, we see John Wilkes Booth. Like, yeah, he's about to die.
Well, and he's like, oh, I think I've already seen this play. And she's like, you can't. It's new. It's called Our American Cousin. And I was like, so good. The only thing that would have made it better is if we had heard the crazy line that happened like right before.
Yeah, the shot.
Like he actually shot. And I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it's one of those things that like was supposedly a huge laugh line at the time, and that's why he chose it to fire, because it wouldn't be heard. But modern day, you're like, what? Like the joke just does not land or translate at all modern day.
That line was, "Don't know the manners of good society, eh? Well, I guess I'll know enough to turn you inside out, old gal. You sock-dazzling old man-trap."
That's what you sock-dazzling old man trap. And I'm just like, what does this mean?
No idea.
Or I think it's solidizing old man trap.
I literally am reading it like I just looked it up. I did not know that.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, of course I did not know that.
bonkers. Anyway, he manages to find the pager after dumping through all of his pockets and his boot or whatever, literally right as John Wilkes Booth pulls the gun, and he's like, "Sic semper tyrannis," and he's like, "Hold on."
Yeah.
Types in 666, and then he's like, "All right, go."
Which I thought was kind of a dick move. You don't want to save Lincoln's life? Like, you've got an opportunity. You know it's going to happen, so you can get the jump on John Wilkes Booth. Like, I do think Brendan Fraser fucked up in this moment, and I will never forgive him.
How dare he?
I thought it was funny. The whole thing was very funny to me.
I do love that, like, somebody pops a champagne cork, and he's like,
Yeah, of course, because he knows he's about to get shot, Paige.
Anyway, he shows back up at work in a denim jacket that, I mean,
Made Paige cry, but not with her eyes.
oh my goodness. Yes. It's like that Sabrina Carpenter song, except instead of doing menial, normal tasks, it's just wearing a denim jacket.
Paige, I hope to one day manifest at Sabrina Carpenter's level. Like, she manifested that guy to cheat on her. It was crazy. I mean, it just proves the law of attraction. Well done, Sabrina.
Anyway, so he goes to work, and on his computer is the devil being like, "Well, you got one wish left. What's it going to be?" And he's like, "No, I've got two." And she's like, "The Big Mac and Coke counts." And he's like, "I paid for it." And she's
No.
like, "But you also wished for it." So like,
I loved that so much. I really did.
but at this point, he's like yelling in the middle of the office, and everyone's like, "What the?"
Because he's talking to his computer screen that she's on.
Right.
And they can't see it. So it looks like he's just yelling at a black computer screen.
Well, and they can't hear her or
Right.
see her at all. So like, he's responding to things that they can't hear.
I actually think there's an out for that because he's wearing a headset.
Oh, yeah,
So
that
I
too.
think that they might think he's on the phone, maybe, but
Maybe.
he's still standing and yelling at, and you should
Right.
not be doing that in for work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Unless you're at the top.
Right.
That happens a lot up there.
Yeah. But he then goes to church and is like, "I got to talk to God. It's really urgent. I sold my soul to the devil." And then she says that I only have 6 wishes, but I got like, whatever. And they immediately, like, we cut to him being escorted to the police station by the cops.
I'll say Bill Murray's brother does give him some good advice. But yes, he eventually does get arrested and sent to the cops.
Right. Where they're like, "Hey, drunk and disorderly, because you're yelling about selling your soul to the devil in the middle of a church in the middle of the day."
Honestly, drunk and disorderly is like the best case scenario. Because
Yes.
you also could be having like a psychotic break or whatever. So yeah.
Right. Well, and they do say we recommend a psych eval. We never see that happen. But also part of that is like, he's like, "No, she's got an office in a nightclub in Oakland." And they're like, "Where is it? Can you take us?" He's like, "No, she drove." Anyway, they put him in what I will call the drunk tank for the night.
Did you catch what car she drove though, by the way, Paige? A Lamborghini Diablo.
That's what it was, a Lamborghini Diablo.
I was like, perfect. Yeah.
They throw him in to the drunk tank, and he does have a cellmate who is very much like, "Hey man, the soul doesn't belong to you. It belongs to God. You have to make your own choices. The devil can't make you do things. You're a person. You have free will. You just have to choose kind of how you're going to live your life and what you're going to do. You can't just leave it up to somebody else, and you can't just wish things into existence to be the way that you want. You have to basically make choices to make your life what you want it to be." Now,
Yeah.
do I think that is good on the surface, but leaves out societal and systemic problems? Yes. But we are also talking to a white man that doesn't have a lot of those systemic problems. So I'll allow it.
Yes. But the actor who's playing this is Gabriel Cassius.
Yes.
Who is a black man. And I really do wish they had just billed him as God
Yes.
in the credits instead of his cellmate or Elliot's cellmate or whatever. I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Like, they definitely at the end telegraph that this is God because Elizabeth Hurley and this guy are playing chess.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did love that this movie is basically like, you went to the church where everyone thinks God is, but God is really the person next to you. You know, the person that is maybe speaking kindness and truth to you in this moment. The person that everyone else overlooks because they don't deem them to be valuable. But like the Bible says, whatever you did for the least of these, you did for me. And so it's kind of, It's one of those things where I was like, this seems more biblically accurate than people would typically give it credit for.
Oh, no, I think this would definitely be called woke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Anyway, he gets out the next day and he does find the nightclub and goes back. And as he walks in, everyone's excited to see him, but it's clear that the party never stopped.
Yeah.
And they're exhausted.
Yeah. It felt very Dante to me.
Well, and some of them have grown long beards because they've been there a long time, but they can't stop dancing or whatever. So he then goes to her office and she's like, all right, what's your last wish? And he's like, I don't have one. I'm not going to wish. I'm done wishing. I have to make choices and do things in my own life for me. And I can't just wish things to be the way that I want them. That is not realistic for me to actually get the things that I want. And it doesn't account for anyone else's choice in the matter.
Yeah.
Which is like, great. That is the lesson you should learn.
It's almost like to teach an incel to not be an incel, they need to be able to empathize with people who are not them.
Right.
And not also have to go through it themselves.
Right.
Because like this movie like makes him learn these things by making him the person that he should be empathizing with, but like it makes him be that person.
Right.
So that he has to go through it himself so he'll learn the lesson.
Right.
And I wish more people could like have empathy. Really, empathy is like important, I think. And I really love the way this movie sets it up. I loved it.
It does, because ultimately she's like, you have to make a wish or you burn in hell. And he's like, if I have to make a wish, then I just wish that Allison has a happy life, which I think is a very healthy way to think about it of like, hey, if somebody is not going to be with me or can't be with me and there's no bad blood or, you know, they just chose differently, it's fine to hope that they have a happy life.
Yeah.
Like you should want them to, I want everyone to have the happiest life that they are capable of having, as long as it isn't infringing on other people's health, safety, and happiness.
Of course. Yeah.
That I think is a very healthy way to look at it. Not like this bitch turned me down, but like.
Exactly. I think that's the ultimate lesson is like how to
Yes.
take rejection. And that if you do get rejected by a woman or a friend group, like it's okay.
It's okay.
They may not be your people, but you're going to find other people in your life that will look exactly like those people that may like you. So like just wait until you see their doppelgangers and then latch onto them.
Creepy.
This movie has a weird ending. I don't know how else to read that. It's so weird.
Honestly, if you just change the actors to
know.
the end, the ending is perfect.
Literally, and it's such a small part.
Such a small part, but because he wishes on her behalf, he wakes up on the floor of the courthouse.
Yeah.
Because the devil's now a lawyer. And she's like, yeah, there's a clause in the contract where if you actually take a truly benevolent action, it voids it. And because you wished for someone to have good things and for their life to be happy, regardless of how it impacted you, that's technically benevolent.
I mean, it literally is the wish that sent him to hell. Yeah. I mean,
Right.
It was like, I don't need anything. I'm going to hell anyway. So like,
Right.
I hope she has a good life.
Right. And so she's like, it's over. So, you know, go out into the world unless you want 7 more wishes. And he's like, no.
No, I'm good.
I do not. So we cut to, he goes to work the next day and he sees her in the lobby and he's like, you know what? I'm going to go talk to her. This time she remembers because the bar was only a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I really like you. I think you're an interesting person. I'd love to go out for coffee sometime. And she just goes, oh, I'm seeing someone. And he's like, I'm happy for you. And what a lucky guy.
Yeah, he's like, of course you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a lucky guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is how to be rejected and walk away. Like, it is a good
Yes.
template for how to follow it, you know?
Right. And he's like, that's great for you. If it doesn't work out, let me know. But otherwise, I'll see you around. It was great talking to you.
Yeah.
That's it. Just lets it go. And he goes upstairs. His friends at work mock him. He grabs somebody by the collar. And I was like, ooh, grab me by the collar, please. But
Paige.
it wasn't that way. He was making a point.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of scared of him. Nobody bothers him anymore. So he just kind of goes about his merry way working. He does ride a bike uphill to the one apartment everyone uses in San Francisco for movies in this time period.
Yeah. And it's a steep hill, guys. And he's cruising up that hill. He's in great shape.
Yeah. He finds a woman moving in, and it's implied that this is basically his apartment complex, and they're moving into one of the other apartments in the building.
Yeah, she's like moving next door, more or less, whatever.
Right. And it looks exactly like Allison, but she's somebody else. But she very clearly, unlike Allison, likes a lot of the same things he does,
She's
is
quirky,
a little
man.
more
Yeah.
kind of quirky and neurotic.
Way better for him.
They've got the same kind of weird.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he helps her move in because she's got the speakers that he likes. He's super interested. We cut to them kind of walking through the park together past the devil and God playing chess.
Yes.
And as they walk away, they have new little identifiers. One is drinks from the carton and the other is hogs the covers.
Yeah.
And that's the very sweet end of this movie.
Yeah. And that's the movie. So having seen the movie, having talked about the movie, Paige, what did you think about Bedazzled?
I would say problematic though it is.
Yeah.
I did like it. I'd watch it again, you know?
I could have rented it for $3.50 or bought it for $4.99, and I took the gamble, and by the end of it, I was like, I'll definitely watch this again at some point,
Yeah.
So I'm glad I bought it. But I if you missed it, I get it. It's not the best movie. I do think it kind of, although problematic, does have a lot of progressive views for the 2000s, which I was honestly very surprised by. I kind of dug it. But, Paige.
Yes.
Do you have any fun facts for us?
I do.
Well, here to switch your fun facts. Fraser,
Bedazzled,
fun facts.
Now, I'm going to reveal something to you.
Okay.
There was an entire extra vignette and some change in this movie that got cut out.
What?
Yes.
Tell me everything about it.
Okay. And you can, if you own this on DVD, you can see it.
Really?
But Elliot uses one of his wishes to become a rock star,
Oh my God, I want it.
right? Where he's playing in a metal band using a British accent. It was cut out because they would have gotten an R rating because it includes images of drug use.
Okay.
And so he takes a bong hit on stage, and unfortunately, Allison tries to harm herself by swallowing pills.
Oh no, okay.
Real dark turn. He also says the F word a number of times, and as you know, there's a limit to how many you can say for certain ratings.
It's 1 for PG-13.
Yeah. Now, also, this is the only vignette where he and Allison at least begin to have sex in the movie. So they at least start in the back room of the venue.
All right.
Yeah. It can be accessed on the DVD by going to the second special features page and highlighting the top choice and clicking right. A devil on Elizabeth Hurley's shoulder should light up. So it's like an Easter egg,
Good God. Okay.
but it does exist.
Or go to YouTube, I bet.
Yeah, I bet it's on YouTube now, or whatever.
Yeah.
In longer versions of the film, his character was so pathetic that preview audiences really disliked it. And they basically cut out more of kind of the incel adjacent behavior and trimmed it down because they thought that they had established enough early in the scene.
They definitely did. Yeah. I think they established it well at the very beginning.
Yeah. The mathematics homework that the devil removes from the classroom blackboard, because when he comes back from one of the vignettes, she is a math teacher that is not teaching anything.
I love that it showed that the devil has been dumbing down education as a device for the past 40 years.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be crazy? That would never happen, right?
It would never happen. But it did happen in this movie. And effectively, the theorem that she's trying to have them solve that she erases is Fermat's last theorem, a legendary problem from 1630 that is often the subject of stories about people selling their souls to solve it. The problem was eventually solved in 1995.
By who?
Andrew Wiles and his colleagues with a computer.
We need to call our friends at Good Morning from Hell to see if he's there.
Oh, shit.
Honestly, Paige, I want to play that. I want to do that. I'm going to call him.
Go, yeah, hit Blaine up. Near the end of the film, Elliot, Brendan Fraser, is seen riding his bike up Filbert Street. Now, I mentioned Filbert Street, that apartment building. We've had it in multiple rom-coms. I don't remember how many of them. I think one of them had Julia Stiles. I don't remember which one. But it's been in 4 movies that we've done on this podcast. They're all filmed around this era. Whoever owned that apartment building at the time let almost anyone film there. But it is in the Russian Hill neighborhood of San Francisco, and he does not actually ride his bike up the hill. The bike was pulled up the steep hill by a cable attached to a winch.
That makes sense.
Which was erased in post-production.
Yeah, because he's cruising up the hill.
Yes. Dina Apple, who is the film's costume designer, was recommended by Elizabeth Hurley after she had worked with her on Austin Powers, both International Man of Mystery and Spy Who Shagged Me.
Yeah.
Since her character required an extensive and varied wardrobe, she felt that Dina Apple was the perfect choice. And I will also say, not only are the costumes in this fantastic, but also the costumes in both Austin Powers also fantastic. Incredibly done.
Very mid-century, yeah.
The scene in the classroom where she erases that theorem was actually shot in London and needed a reshoot. But Brendan Fraser was already working on Mummy Returns. It was only available for a day or two in between. So they had to travel to England to shoot the scene and then cut other shots of him in. It's also why he's slightly tanner in those shots.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. The devil mentions that on November 16th, she'll have been doing her job for 6,000 years. This is a reference to Archbishop James Usher, who in the 17th century calculated that the birth of the world was on Sunday the 23rd of October 4004 BC.
And would Ursher lie to you?
Never. According to his calculations, Adam and Eve were thrown out of paradise on Monday, the 10th of November.
The darkest of days, Paige.
The darkest of days.
How dare you eat fruit in my presence?
How dare you? Elizabeth Hurley wears a total of 19 different outfits as the devil.
Good God, I believe it though, because she's changing multiple times every scene.
In the scene where he is overly sensitive and crying about sunsets, but he is playing the guitar, the sound of the guitar playing is actually Harold Ramis playing guitar.
Okay.
Ooh, the logo of the tech company where Elliot is tech support uses the word sin as part of their name.
But it's S-Y-N, yeah.
S-Y-N, and also 3 hexagons, each with 6 sides for 666.
Yeah.
Now, this was supposed to start filming in 1998. But when Ghostbusters 3 fell through, Harold Ramis agreed to direct this instead and hired his writer from Analyze This to work on an existing script by Larry Gelbart. But that meant relinquishing his directing duties on Galaxy Quest, which was about to start production for release in 1999.
Yeah.
He would stay on as one of the producers. I fucking love Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
As someone raised by a parent who's a trekker, Galaxy Quest is incredible. The Devil's Club, DV8, is the same building used in Fight Club as Lou's Diner. As we mentioned, Bedazzled is set in San Francisco, and it's actually never specified in the movie Fight Club where Fight Club is set. That just happens to be where they filmed it.
Yeah.
The business card joke where she hands him a business card and it just says the devil. That same joke was used in the original version of Bedazzled in 1967, where the writing on the card was unfortunately never seen, but it is the same joke. And I'll end on this one because it is right next to this on my list and I find it very funny. The basketball game, the opposing team's jerseys just say shirts.
Oh, I love that. That's very funny.
So it's Diablo instead of shirts and skins.
That's very funny.
It's Diablos versus shirts. And those are your fun facts.
Well, thank you for those fun facts, Paige. Let's talk a little bit about box office. So what do you think the production budget was for Bedazzled in the year 2000?
Probably not a lot, actually. This is, for as many of the like cool costumes and whatever, this is kind of a small movie, but it does have a lot of different scenes and different vignettes.
I love you trying to break it down.
I know. I'm going to say this cost $16 million.
Oh, Paige, it's quite a bit more. It's $48 million.
Oh, no. And I bet it didn't make it back. I'm so sorry.
Well, we'll talk about that too. But if you adjust that for inflation, it's roughly $90.3 million today.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. The movie came out in October, which is a good time for it, hence why we're doing it here. October 20th, 2000, so 10/20/2000. It was beat by Meet the Parents. It was number 2 that weekend. Number 3 was Remember the Titans. Number 4 was Pay It Forward. And number 5 was The Legend of Drunken Master. Paige, what do you think it brought in its opening weekend?
I probably saw Remember the Titans that weekend.
I probably did too.
I saw Remember the Titans multiple times in theaters that I can remember.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this brings in $9 million.
That's a very good guess, but it was $13.1 million. Remember the Titans brought in 9.9, Paige.
That's where my mind was at. I was meditating on it.
And it's probably where your body was at that weekend too.
Yes.
But Paige, this movie was in the box office for a total of 17 weeks. It spent the first 2 in the top 5, and then it was 6th and then 10th, but was never again in the top 10 after its first 4 weeks. What do you think it brought in domestically at the box office?
$36 million.
So it's so close, Paige. It's 37.8.
Oh.
Great guess. Which again, on a budget of 45 is not its budget
That's
back.
not good.
I'm sure they were disappointed with this movie, but it still did make money because of the international market, where it brought in $52.4 million. So it did make $90.3 million today. And I do want to go back to what I said about the inflation calculator, because it was $48 million was the budget. Forgive me, I said 45 a second ago, but it was 48. And if you inflate it to today's numbers, is almost exactly its box office worldwide at 90.3.
Okay.
I thought that was nuts.
It essentially probably broke even, is what this movie probably did when you consider worldwide.
Probably marketing. Yeah, if you take out marketing, yeah, it probably just broke even.
Yeah.
But I couldn't be the only person in the world that knew that the budget for Bedazzled, if adjusted for inflation, is what it made at the time in the box office.
That's crazy.
My brain couldn't handle being the only brain that knew that. I'm sorry, but that's your box office page. Do you want to hit us with the romance scale?
Our romance scale is a scale of how romantic we found this movie today from a scale of 1 to 4. Todd, how romantic was this?
I'm going to give it a 1. We don't get any romance because he's chasing this woman he doesn't know.
Right.
She has no agency in liking him. And then we do, I really wish it was a different actress.
Sure,
but
sure,
the
sure.
part of the movie we should be like, oh, isn't that romantic? We're not going to get that because this movie isn't about the romance of it. This movie is about a man learning how to be able to be in a romance movie. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I love that.
Right.
But it's a 1 for me because of it.
Yeah, it's a 1 for me too, but like on the personal growth scale,
Yeah.
a 4.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. Brendan Fraser has changed by the end of this movie, and I love that.
Yeah, so that's your romance scale. Hey, Todd, do you have any reviews for us?
I do. And this week, I'm going to read a review from our most recent Spotify comments. I'm going to read this one off of our Crimson Peak episode. And it's a crazy movie, but we got a lot of crazy comments on that one. But I'm going to read this one from Paisley Park. And they say, House of Wax made me crackle out loud. I can't remember exactly the context of that. I do remember that coming up. Oh, the siblings, of course.
The siblings.
Because the sibling sex, of course. We just don't see that on screen in House of Wax. We just know it happened because of the way they look at each other.
We just know it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just like begging that whole movie in House of Wax to like have someone reveal that they're step siblings. Anyway.
Yeah, and what I mean, if they could and we could get early 2000s Chad Michael Murray, like, come on, give it to us. Deleted scenes. Somebody find one.
If you're not one of the people who listen to both podcasts, at least go listen to the rom-com we did, House of Wax.
House of Wax.
That's a lot like Crimson Peak.
Yeah, in one very notable way.
Yeah. Anyway, Paisley Park, I really thought that comment made me laugh, so I wanted to read
Hilarious.
it. And if you want to have me read your comment, give us one of those comments on Spotify or a 5-star Apple review, and I'll do just that. Oh, wait, Paige, what are we going to do next week?
The next movie, because it is our last one in October, we're still trying to keep it spooky, trying to do monsters, ghosts, and troubling relationships. Oh my.
Sometimes angels, sometimes devils. Yeah, just,
Angels, devils, So we're going to do The Shape of Water. We're double Guillermo del Toroing this month, and you know what? I'm okay with it.
here for it. Yeah.
Here for it. So that's your movie for next week is The Shape of Water.
Well, I'm glad to be doing a movie where Guillermo del Toro nails it. And by nails it, I mean has sex with a fish. So yeah, if you guys like this show and want to hear our other show where we talk about horror movies, that is The Horror Virgin. That's the only other podcast I am on, but Paige is also on Cult Podcast, which you can find at Cult Podcast. And you can find us on social media. I am at Todd J. Awesome, literally everywhere. Paige is at Paige Wesley on Instagram.
No, it's at Rampage Wesley on Instagram and TikTok, at Paige Wesley on Twitter.
That's right. All right. So that's where you can find Paige. If you want to find the show, we are at Romancing the Pod Show, right?
Yep, Romancing Pod Show on Twitter.
Well, and Instagram, right?
And Instagram, but it's show SHO because character limit. If you start typing Romancing the Pod, it'll come up.
It'll definitely come up on Instagram. I don't know about Twitter because I haven't posted on Twitter in a hot ass minute. So like, who knows? But that is where you can find more of us. So yeah, guys, give us a follow. Support the show any way you can. We'd love it.
Smash that like button.
Hell yeah.
That's going to be it for us, you guys. I'm Paige.
And I'm Todd.
And you complete us.
Monkey bone pleation.
I'm going to go watch The Mummy.
That movie messed with me sexually, nerds.